Welcome back to an EOWR. This is the 6th one. This voice, hi, I'm Isaiah Barton. How are we doing, boys?
Doing good.
That's Walker Lipscomb.
I'm doing fantastic.
Thank you, Blake. Blake Murphy. That's Blake Murphy. And once again, I'm Isaiah Barton. Nice to have you on the podcast today, boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good to be here.
Good to be on my podcast.
Yeah.
What was that?
This week we have slain the week, literally, as they say. Anyway.
Filleted the week,
Oh.
as they say.
Yes. We have filleted the week. We have pickled some balls. We have bought some boots. We have gamed some boards.
Yes, we have.
And
We have some nefarious watched.
we have watched some nefariousism. Yep. So it's kicking off. Walker, what have you learned this week?
Well, in class specifically, we all did a little personality quiz. Would be selling it short. I think the Berkman is probably the most intensive personality test I've ever taken, and I've done a few for high school. It was it 149 questions about your
129 about
130,
you, and
no,
then
it was
129 about some other people.
most
and then
people.
59 about
58.
career choices.
Yeah, so you would like you
Yes.
would rank
Don't
career
forget
options
that.
based on how.
And add extra ones. Sorry.
Yeah, you'd rank career options based on how much you could see yourself in that. So it was a pretty long quiz,
Yeah, it was.
but it produced some pretty awesome results. Don't you guys think?
I think so.
Yeah.
What did you learn from it?
I learned that. So a lot of the charts will go over usual behavior, needs, and stress. So for my thought category, my usual behavior tends to be thoughtful, reflective, and concerned about consequences. And some stress reactions when my needs aren't met are indecision, overemphasis on future, and negative reaction to quick decisions, which I definitely think is true, especially the overemphasis on future. When I'm not in the best place, that's where I go. I live in the future, and I can identify just how unhealthy that is, and I can see what my needs are, so I can see how to fulfill them.
Gotcha. Also, little, I don't know, precursor that I'm sorry, apologies for the noise of the leaf blowers. Not a
People
big
paying off their scholarships.
Yeah, way to go. Way to go, campus beautification. And we're just in here, living our lives, living the dream. I also learned, I think, from Berkman, what I learned is, like, that I can tend to be a little selfish, which isn't, like, the main takeaway, because I don't think Berkman necessarily showed me that. I think it's kind of just, like, confirmed that. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just, like, some things just come off as selfish, which I guess is a bad thing, but kind of just working through that and seeing what it means for me, it has been helpful. And it's just, like, I like to have people validate my feelings, so, like, in an argument, I'll always want the other person to understand my point, and then I'll walk away very, like, close-ended, like, I am right and you are wrong, which has happened with us roommates. So it's been interesting to work through. And, like, Martin was saying today, Adam Martin was talking about how the Berkman, the first step is awareness, and then the next step is what? Uncomfortability? Or?
No, it's unsatisfaction or dissatisfaction.
Dissatisfaction. And then working through it from there is, like, the steps to the game of the Berkman. So that's been helpful to work through and just to confirm some things in my life. I also learned at the back end of it, they did a report on, what do you call it, like, career assessment, whatever. And like, one of the careers that it said was, like, arts, design, media, entertainment, and sports. So that kind of is all encompassing. And, like, originally I was like, I don't want to be an artist. And then it's, like, thinking more about it, oh wait, it would be cool to, like, make videos, edit videos, or like make a podcast. What? And
Who would have thunk?
who would have thunk? And yeah, it's just like not necessarily that I so like it gave me like a list of 6 different careers, and that was the first one. I was tied with another one, which was like, what do you call it, community and social services, and so those two were tied, and it's just like figuring out which ones of like my highest 6 are going to be the most energizing for me and like are going to bring me the most joy, because I'll be good at any of these 6. I can learn how to do them and easily, and I will be good at them. It's just like, which one would I enjoy is the next step. And I think art, design, sports, media, and entertainment would be fun just to study in college for next year. So I was like, I'm going to go to JBU, and I'm going to learn about all this stuff. And I think that would be a really fun plan for me. Maybe like some communications, or like entertainment, design, sports, whatever. So yeah.
I think one of my like biggest things out of the Berkman thing is just seeing like how it knows us more than we know ourselves, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because like one thing I didn't notice was my physical energy attribute in the Berkman test. It says that I have a 99, so I'm like energetic, enthusiastic, and I have vigorous reasoning, which like kind of shows that I'm like up to doing anything. But then if I get like too much of that, or like my needs aren't met in those instances, I kind of like postpone, and I like start putting things off. And I've started to notice that more and more as like just by doing the Berkman assessment, and it's kind of eye-opening just how much it knows us than we know ourselves.
Yeah.
I would have never thought to go into business and finance, but that's like my top one for career choices, as well as community and social services.
Totally.
Or education, training, and library.
Are those all tied?
Yeah, all those are tied, which I think teaching has always been in the back of my mind, but we'll see.
Which one of those would be most energizing for you?
I think that the Berkman assessment is kind of leading me towards like being a people person, and I think either community and social services, like being a salesman or just like working in a social area, that could also help with like being a people person, but also education. Like even if it was just kids ministry, I feel like that's like a good place for me, just because it's a good way to serve the Lord and just glorify Him while doing it.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's a perspective that we have to keep with all of this, that like this is ultimately the Berkman, it's not the Bible. And like it's not the end all be all. So it's like, how do we use this to study our behavior so that we can better glorify God and not make this a god, and studying the Bible more than we study this, which
and it's just a list of tendencies, like the stress behaviors. So like that's going to be you at your very worst in each of these situations. And as you're saying, like if you've taken it, or like me, who I'm looking at these stress reactions, I'm like, I don't ever want to be that person, or I hate when I'm that person. That just makes me want to lean on God more. So, and if we're called to mimic Christ, then that's exactly what we should do. We should never just allow ourselves to stay in the same human place.
That's so good. Yeah, it just gives us things to work on, and like not behavior modification, but like things to depend on Christ that He can transform us for.
Yeah,
absolutely. And yeah, it's been really fun for us to like work through this together, I think, and just talk about things and be better roommates and being able to love each other better. It's been really fun to compare where our motivations and what our behaviors are. So it's been cool.
What about spiritual growth this week? Did we learn anything spiritually?
No. Skip this one.
Darn.
That's all we have for this one.
No,
we started, was it Thursday? Yeah, last Thursday. We didn't have a podcast last week because we were on our way to a men's retreat which was really good, and loved having that. And I enjoyed that a lot because we had this. It was fun. We did some crazy stuff. We had like a race, relay race kind of deal, where you just ran around and did these activities that we started with. It got really crazy. You'll have to come to Link here to find out, or call us or something to learn, because we can't post it online apparently. That's how crazy it got. They don't want us spreading rumors. But we learned a lot, and at the end of that, Blake will go into more, but there was a point where we were just sharing testimonies, all of us guys, and that was really powerful, like stories that I hadn't heard from guys here before. And then just to go into a time of like, hey, like let's keep each other accountable, and that was my takeaway. Hey, let's try to like do a better job of this, which let's try to hold each other accountable to what we say we're going to do, and to what we know God wants us to do, and just being that kind of group for each other. So, and then Tanner had a good point on it too, in like relying on God. And we can say all this stuff, but if our hope isn't found in God, and we just turn back to anything we want at the end of the day, then we're just like, if you try to take something away with like purity or something, then and you're not filling it with anything good, then you're just going to run back to that thing, which I think was a good point that Tanner made.
Absolutely.
So,
I can add on to the Beards and Beauty retreat. Just kind of like hearing Martin and his story, and them just trying to teach us like what it is like to be like a true child and man of God, and live our lives according to His word and according to what He wants us to be as men. I think we can take away from last week's pillar as well in this instance, where like Donia was talking about how a biblical worldview matters because it will impact who you date, who you inevitably marry, and how you vote, how you raise your kids, and how you operate as a citizen in society. Like all of that matters. But like in the Bible, it says that we're supposed to be the spiritual leaders of the household. So like we need to take initiative, and we need to take ownership and be there. And I feel like I personally took a lot from the retreat, just watching the leaders there, like how much of the ownership they take on, and how much of the work they take on, and how much they're willing to pour into us and like teach us. It just kind of motivates me to be more of a man of God, and just like treat everyone with respect and like Jesus would, you know. So I think that's definitely something I took out of the retreat. But we had tons of fun. We shared testimonies. That was really cool, just to hear some other guys' testimonies and share our own. And even after, like when we went back to the cabins and everything, we still continued to share to some people, and just I feel like it really grows you, because like you don't know who they are. You're like, you don't know somebody till you fully know them. So it's like I learned stuff about some people that I had no idea, but now we're closer than ever. So it's like, it's really cool to see how much just sharing a testimony will help you grow with someone. It's really cool. What about you, Walker?
Well, yeah, for sure. The retreat was awesome. I don't know. Were you guys a little nervous at the beginning?
Totally.
Yeah.
I only sent this to my parents, but my last end of the week review was like brutally honest in how I was feeling, and it was just like, this could be the worst weekend of my entire life, and it wasn't, luckily. So
it was awesome. It was a super like spiritual experience, and I loved it. And that testimony night, like confession night, whatever you want to call it, it was so cool to hear from people I hadn't heard from before, and honestly, it gave me the opportunity to reach out to people I haven't quite done a great job of doing that yet. But for me, I have two sort of little small things. You guys kind of hit on the retreat. One thing was from P52's earlier this morning. Garrett West was my P52 leader, and he was talking about, it's just like a little small connection. It's like a cool little thing he had pointed out, and I really like it. I've been thinking about it today. I think it's Genesis 3, so the fall. I think it's towards the end of the chapter, so around like, here it is, 17 through 19. Well, 17 through 18. It's talking about how Adam's curse from eating the fruit is that he will have to toil the land, and that he will be plagued by thorns and thistles, and they will be brought forth to you. And a few weeks ago, Garrett made the connection. Garrett Perkins, during our Bible study, was saying that Jesus came to fulfill Adam. Like, he was the fulfilled and perfect Adam. So when Jesus was being beaten by the Roman guards, what did they put on his head? A crown of thorns. So it's super cool things like that just really boost my faith, and I love hearing stuff like that. Also, we were talking about behavior modification just like a little bit ago, and me and Xander, my small group leader, he was talking about, I was asking him about behavior modification, if it was a biblical principle, and he said yes, but it shouldn't be your priority. You shouldn't go into a situation looking to modify your behavior or someone else's behavior, as it is preached to us all the time here at Link here that the first thing you should go for, like you should pursue, is a heart transformation. And due to that heart transformation, your fruits, they will inherently like modify your behavior. It's a consequence of your heart transformation. So don't be looking directly for that behavior modification. Once you obtain that heart transformation, it will come. You might have to work on things more, but it's more speaking. It's speaking to brothers like brothers in Christ. That's once you have found your salvation, that's when you can start looking at behavior modification.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, your only concern should be salvation.
Right, and I think Donye has added to that, even like he's said that we might not see the fruit, like this behavior modification in our life, for like a few more years, which I thought has been really interesting, like to think about. For some like especially new believers, you might not see that fruit for a few more years, which is just something to think about. But at the same time, it's like, don't we start showing fruit like as soon as we become believers?
Well, yeah, he was also saying, Donnie was saying last night, that it's impossible to be saved and to like undergo a heart transformation and not produce good fruit.
Yeah.
It's like you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
So if it goes a while and you don't see that fruit in your life, then you should reassess. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Totally.
I will say, I do think it's very cool when the Bible kind of goes like full circle with
love
like
it.
the fall and just the crucifixion with the crown of thorns. That's
Literally,
super
I've
cool.
never thought about that in my entire life. Like, it's so cool.
How like Adam is, and how like Jesus is the second Adam.
Well, I'd heard that like probably the first time I'd heard that was in the last 6 months. But the whole crown of thorns and Adam's curse being connected, that's something I learned today, like this morning. Yeah.
Remind me of that curse. I don't think I was listening.
Well, yeah. So Eve, her curse from the fall was painful childbearing.
Uh-huh.
And then Adam had to toil the land and work from the land and be
it's the
ripped apart by thorns and thistles.
Gotcha.
So that's what his curse. And then Jesus came to reconstitute Adam, and he was placed a crown of thorns on top of his head.
Gotcha. Cool. That is really cool. I love symbolism in the Bible. It's beautiful. And what was the thing that we talked about during P52s? How Adam talked about last night. Something. There is something good in there. I can't.
Like in the announcements, or
Is there
He was doing
anything bad that
P52s.
comes out of Donye's mouth? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. No, I can't think of what it was though. I could probably find it, but anyway. Yeah, this week past weekend is we went to the board game cafe. I don't know what else have we done, but that's been fun, guys. That we want to remember for the rest of our lives. Never forget.
I know something I want to remember for the rest of my life.
What is it?
Cam's face during Nefarious.
Oh my gosh.
He was. I meant to talk to him about the movie, what he thought, but he was terrified. Xander came in after like the first 5 minutes, and Cam literally jumped out of the couch. I've never seen that man like stand up so quickly.
That was so funny. Yeah. What'd you think of that movie? I mean, for the second time.
Third time, but yeah, I love that movie. So
Wow.
if it's not a very accurate portrayal of demonic possession, like literally, but a lot of the real ideas and real stuff is in there. If you just get past the fact that it's a dramatic movie, you can really find yourself in some cool places.
Yeah, and Hollywoodized, but still under the Christian-ish realm.
Yeah, you would never guess it was the same creators that brought us God's Not Dead.
Yeah, and God's Not Dead too.
Well, that goes without saying.
Just in case you wanted to know. I actually don't know if they directed the second one. I would guess they did though.
Yeah,
Also, you know what I did this week?
What's that?
I bought some boots.
Yeah,
he's
you
wearing them
did.
right now.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that was a highlight. Me and G West. Sorry. G West and I went out yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't even know.
It was
2 days ago. Yeah.
2 days ago. We went out and bought some cowboy boots. I'm like, hey, you know any good spots? And he's like, yes, we're going. So they're currently hurting my feet. This entire episode I've been having my heels up, trying to stretch them out a little bit because I'm worried if I pull too hard, my Achilles tendon is going to snap in half. So that's pretty exciting.
always a fear when you're taking your boots on and off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they may be a little too small, but, you know, we're just going to stretch them out a little bit. So, but we got a barn dance coming up tomorrow night.
Oh my goodness, Blake, aren't you excited?
See, I will say I am excited for you two. I will be missing it, which is pretty sad. But I will say my fun segment plays off of yours because to get you ready for that barn dance, you know what we did yesterday?
What did we do?
We practiced Footloose.
Yeah, we did.
Multiple times in a row.
And Freight Train.
And Freight Train.
Yeah.
And it was tons of fun.
Mhm.
Got the boots fitted in, I guess.
Yeah, broken in. There you go.
in.
A little bit.
but
Martin
yeah.
said it'd take 2 to 3 weeks. So
2 to 3
I have
weeks,
2
yeah.
days, but
But also, just apart from that, did a lot of fun things this week. Went down to the dock and wrote letters.
Yeah, you did.
That was really cool. And it kind of just made me realize, like, sitting out in nature, just the beauty that was surrounding me. It was pretty awesome.
Mhm.
But, yeah. Also had late night happy hour, which is mainly ice cream and Sonic snack runs with the two shepherds, Karis and Xander, which are pretty awesome. That was fun. Got to talk about some interesting things last night that will stay classified. But yeah,
Do you
it was
guys-
just
do you do like Instagram posts for that, or is it just
no,
talking?
It's just talking.
It's just talking,
But we're
okay.
gonna have special guests soon.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So that'll be fun. But
That's awesome. I thought it was like food reviews or something. But I
no,
like
that would
this.
be smart though.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Plus, it's always worth getting some Monty sticks at Sonic. So,
Totally.
yeah, but
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
that's good. That's good. Well, peace and blessings, my friends.
Yes.
And we will see you next week on Beating Someone.
Yeah.
Never.
And don't forget to boot, scoot, and boogie.
Boot, scoot, and boogie. Bye.